Monday marked 25 years since O.J. Simpson led the LAPD on one of the most famous police chases in history. Americans sat glued to their television sets watching the former Hall of Fame running back run from the law in his white Ford Bronco. Months later, Simpson would be on trial for the murders of his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend, Ron Goldman. He was eventually found not guilty of both crimes. So 25 years later, what is O.J. up to?
Hey, Twitter world, this is yours truly. Now, coming soon to Twitter, you'll get to read all my thoughts and opinions on just about everything. This should be a lot of fun. I got a little getting even to do. So God bless. Take care.
Joining us now is former Associated Press special correspondent Linda Deutsch. She covered all of O.J. Simpson's legal trials during her career and recently spoke with Mr. Simpson for an exclusive interview. Linda, such a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much for being here. We just heard O.J. Simpson say in that little clip, "I've got some getting even to do." Do you know what he's referring to
I asked him about that, and he really couldn't explain it.
No.
He just said he wanted to answer a lot of the things that have been on the internet about him that are not true.
Okay.
And he said there are a lot of fake O.J. Twitter sites that he wanted to make sure he had the official O.J. Twitter
So he's going to be setting the record straight on O.J.
Right.
Simpson now. Now, it's been 25 years since the so-called trial of the century. It is amazing. Makes us all feel quite old, right?
Yes.
But since then, how has O.J. been living? How's life treating him now since he was released from prison in, 2017?
Right. I have been covering him for 25 years, so you can imagine. And we have talked many, many times over the years. I've been kind of the reporter he trusts to talk to. And he talked to me at length the other day and said that everything was good, and he sees his kids. They come to visit him. He sees other relatives. He plays golf every day with some, what he called retired guys. Right. And they have a competition. And
so life seems to be good.
Life is good, but he said it was going to stay very quiet. Then the day after I interviewed him and the story went out, he opens a Twitter account.
And he didn't tell you about that.
No,
he didn't tell you about. So I'm curious though, because he did serve 9 years in prison. Is that right? Did that seem to have any effect on him?
Absolutely. I saw him last year. I went to Vegas to see him when he first got out because he's my story, It's been like that for a long time. And he was definitely more subdued than he had been in the old days. He's still O.J. He's still very on top of everything going on in the sports world. That's what he really cares about, football and golf. But he seemed like he didn't want the spotlight as much as he had in the past because it got him in trouble.
Well, I have a question, though, about that civil lawsuit that he lost. He was ordered to pay, I believe, $33.5 million for the wrongful deaths of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. Has he paid out any of that? Does he have any plans to do so? Do you know?
No, it will not be paid. And I think that Kim Goldman has said she's aware that it won't be paid.
Why not?
Because he doesn't. He says he doesn't have to pay because he didn't do it.
But he lost the lawsuit.
That's right. They did seize some of his assets right after the trial. Things like his Heisman Trophy was seized and things at his house, and those were sold.
So can't he be rearrested if he refuses to comply with the ruling of the lawsuit?
Because he's living on a pension, and the pension is not accessible to courts. It can't be touched.
I see. So he's not sitting on a fortune then?
No.
And he has close relationships with his children?
He does.
He does.
All of his children, from his first marriage and his second marriage. They all come to visit him, and he's even been in touch with his ex-wife. Marguerite comes to visit because her daughter, Arnell, comes frequently and stays with O.J. in Las Vegas, where he's living now.
So do you get a sense from this new Twitter announcement that he might go back and rehash some of his past, or do you think he's going to?
No, I don't think that will ever happen. He has said to me, if I never talk about the 90s again, I will be very happy. And so he's not talking about, he didn't, in this interview that I did with him, he did not talk about the crimes or about the victims or about anything to do with what happened in 1994 because he says he wasn't involved.
Right.
But as far as the Twitter account, I have talked to him since he set it up. and he said, "Oh, I'm just going to be doing like fantasy football and talking about golf." But I don't know. You know, he's surprised me before.
Now, you're a reporter that knows him better than any other reporter, I would imagine. So do you think that there is a part of him that secretly courts the limelight?
If it is, it's subconscious. I think he was getting bored with the quiet life.
Uh-oh. Sometimes we can get in trouble if we get bored with the quiet life, right?
But, I mean, he likes seeing old friends, and he likes being recognized. I went to a restaurant with him in Vegas, and everybody was coming up to take selfies with him.
So he enjoys his celebrity.
He enjoys that, yeah. He likes the fact that people remember him.
Right. And does he have the sense that for the most part, at this point, people remember him fondly?
He thinks
or is it
they
mixed?
do.
He thinks they do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's his football career, I think, that he hangs on to as his real identity.
Right.
And it was an extraordinary football career.
That it was. Linda Deutsch, thank you so much for coming to
Thank
see us
you.
and talking all things O.J. Simpson.
Sure.